Hi guys, welcome back to LPB Racing for the WEC Replica Championship on GT Sport. We are at Nurburgring GP circuit and we're getting ready for the first race here. So we're going to go through the grid. It is Callum who takes pole position and an extra point towards the championship. Bidzster in second, Neil Farmer gets a nice third in the Toyota, fourth for Jamo, and then TY in fifth. Obviously Task 1 and absentee this week, unfortunately. He's on the hard tyres, remember TY as well. Seek on the medium tyres for pole position in GTE in Division 2. Techno second on the grid in that one. Then Rodders third, Firepower in fourth in the Aston, and then Stacker rounds off the grid at the back. So you can see a mixture of different tyre strategies here. So let's see how that goes on during the race. So let's go on this then and get ready for the lights to come on as we get ready for the start of this race. Get the telemetry up, get ready to go. Lights on the tree, you can see there on the top left. Green, and we are off. Good start by the Aston Martins in GT obviously, and then the Audis get a good start. Callum comes across straight away to block to defend from Bidzster into the first corner. And all the LP1s through. Jamo having a little look at Neil Farmer as we look back at the GTE boys. The Astons, not surprisingly, in front after fantastic starts. Let's look at Neil Farmer with Jamo going around the outside. Looks like Neil made a little error there. Let's look at Bidzster and Callum side by side. Out of the stadium. And then out of the stadium we go. Both Audis together. Neil Farmer in fourth. Is Bidzster going to have a look at the inside of Callum here? No, who's the answer? And then we look at the Astons, and then we've got Techno looking to get past Rodders, but again, the Rodders keeps hold of the position. As we go with the LMP1 Division 1 boys down to the Dunlop hairpin for the first time on the brakes. And now the Audi boys will be really worried about the Porsche and the Toyota in this one, because look how much hybrid that the Porsche can store and the Toyota compared to the Audi as we go up the hill. Following them all up here as we look at the Astons. They've got a nice lead in GTE so far in Division 2. Rodders leading Firepower, his teammate. Techno and Seat 1 close together. Oh, Stacker's gone round. No! Stacker's gone round already, so Stacker spins on the exit of Dunlop. So unlucky for Stacker there as we look at Callum then in the lead, followed by Bidzster. So Team AC Motorsport leads from the ART team of Bidzster as we go into the chicane, hopping over the curbs. Jamo doing very well there as well. Neil keeping in touch. TY on the hard tyres at the back, so TY rocking the hard tyres, obviously feels they're the best compound for him. As we look further back, we've got Techno and Seek very close into the chicane. So Seek will not have the best of starts in this one, but he's got a comfortable lead in the Division 2 Championship, and so's Callum as well. So both the divisions have got leaders as we go into there. Look with Callum, Bidzster in second, still Jamo in third, Neil. They're all quite close together. Let's have a look at the GT then. The two Astons go side by side. Rodders on the outside of Firepower, and I think Firepower's sort of let him go really. Not going to fight him too hard for it, because he knows Rodders is trying to catch Seek for the championship, but it is a little bit out of reach. But it's not over yet. Mathematically, there's still a chance for the championship. So Bidzster's still challenging Callum, and it is Rodders that's still challenging Seek 1, even though Seek 1 has got a massive lead. So all Seek 1 needs here is a decent finish in this race, maybe a top 3, and he's got the championship more or less. Whilst Bidzster has got to really hammer Callum into the ground and try and get a decent gap. Well, he's not doing that at the minute. Callum's pulling away, and Bidzster's falling back into the hands of Jamo here. So Bidzster going backwards here in the Audi as we go into the end of the chicanes and then into the back straight with a little kink in it. So onto the back straight. Jamo closes right up, and look how much hybrid he can use. It has run out, so unless they've tweaked that on the game, but I don't know. But into the chicane we go, looking at Jamo and Bidzster into the chicane, hopping over the curbs. Again, the pit window in this one is in between lap 10 and 14, so lap 10 and 14 is the pit window as we go around the last corner onto the straight. They're all a bit more spread out at the minute, but I can tell you that they are trying. They are all going hammer and tongs. Qualifying, the whole Division 1 field in qualifying was split over 1 second, so that was very close in qualifying. So very close qualifying conditions there. As we look back to Rodders Firepower, Techno with Seat 1 still behind him. So Seat 1 not making very good progress in this race so far, but all Seat 1 needs is, I'm just going to do the calculations. I'm just going to have a look to see what Seat 1 needs to actually win the championship, because he can win it here. Let's have a look. Seat 1 needs to get a second or higher in one of the races, and he has won the Division 2 Championship even before we get to Brazil. So that's definitely what he's hoping for. As TY backs off the other group, he's made a little mistake there, I think, because Neil closes up to the back of Jamo, and Callum's just pulling away with this. 142.3 the last lap, 143.3 for Bidzster, a whole second off as we go through the Schumacher S down up to the top. To the left and right, it's not technically a chicane, but it's almost a chicane because it's almost simultaneous after one another. As we look back to the GTE boys then, Rodders and Firepower, the two Aston Martins running very close together. Rodders versus Firepower. Techno is there as well. And into the corners, Techno just misses the back of Firepower there. So Techno just misses the back of Firepower as we go up the hill. And then it's seat 1 in 9th still, but Techno's really taking it to these boys here as Firepower makes a little mistake there. That could be all that Techno needs to close up. Down to the next corner. Down to the brakes. The Porsche so good on the brakes here and around the corners compared to the Aston Martin, but the Aston's got so much acceleration and top speed. So you can see Techno twitching the car there. He's really trying. As we look up to the top runners then, Jamo still trying to stick with Bidzster here, so Bidzster not pulling away from Jamo, but look at how much hybrid the Porsche can save as he gets on the power there, right on the power, a lot more hybrid to use, but it does run out. But obviously this circuit is not very hard on brakes. The hardest into the braking zones will be the chicane at the end, but all the rest of the corners are just a little dab of the brake and into the corner. So the chicane and the hairpin in the corners to do it as Jamo goes on the inside of Bidzster here. Bidzster gives him space, Jamo's on the inside, Bidzster gives him a country mile just in case he wants to try it, but he can't get past him yet. So as we go up the hill, look how much he closes up with the extra hybrid power. Down the hill through the Schumacher S, Neil Farmack trying to keep with him. Will he have another go into the chicane here? I don't think so, because once the hybrid goes away from the Porsche, the Audi's got more internal combustion engine power and it'll pull away. But look, Neil's closed up onto the back of these boys as well. So watch this space for possible manoeuvres. As we look back at the GT then, it's still Techno and Firepower battling it out. Firepower defends the inside from Techno, who tries to go around the outside of him, and he is trying to go around the outside of him, all the way around the outside of Firepower here, gives him space. Oh, and a little kiss to make good friends. Firepower taps the grass, then tries to get back down on the power, down to the next corner. He's not over yet, because Firepower could get back through on the straight. Let's have a look down towards the hairpin. Firepower goes for the inside, but no, backs out of it, not going to bother to do it. So Techno grabs second place there. As we go up out of the corner, Firepower gets the power on in the Aston, but the Porsche is just ahead. Seat 1 obviously just trying to get used to things, get into the rhythm. I don't think Nurburgring's one of his favourite circuits, the Nurburgring GP circuit, with looking how he's driving at the minute, but we'll see as we look at Bidzster, who's still holding up Jamo and Neil here. So the Porsche and the Toyota all over the back of the Audi, as Callum has done 43.0, 43.3, and Bidzster's back into the 44s now. So definitely starting to affect things here as Bidzster goes round, obviously not feeling too comfy in this car around here. There's Jamo all over the back of him, gets the power down, the extra hybrid power. Bidzster pulls out to defend a little bit, but then goes back for his line into Dunlop, carries some good speed through there. Look at the hybrid difference that Jamo saved up there. Get the power on, hybrid power all the way to 140, whereas Bidzster has to stop at about 125 with the hybrid and then go internal combustion engine from there. Loses that 300 horsepower difference down to the next corner. Let's have a look back in the GT battle then. Firepower having a little look at Techno, but he's way too far back to have a proper go there, so not going to happen yet. So remember, lap 10 and 14 is the pit window as Callum comes up to almost the end of lap 5. As Bidzster now defending from Jamo, he's having to defend from Jamo. Jamo goes straight past on the straight, so Jamo got a good drive there, but he goes wide. And will Bidzster be able to capitalise? No, because he's got Neil all over his back, so he's got to watch his mirror as well as look forward. So Bidzster now gets past for second place. So Jamo into second then, and you'd think that Jamo might pull away in the Porsche, but we'll have to see because Bidzster's trying to stick with him. But look at the fuel as well. Look at Callum's fuel at the bottom, and then look at Jamo's, and then look at Bidzster's. He's used a lot more fuel, Bidzster, than the other cars around him, so clearly struggling in that car. It needs to use more fuel for more pace as we go into the stadium section. Jamo goes wide, Bidzster looking up the inside for a way through, but again, not close enough, the camera angle deceiving us. There we go into the out of the stadium, past the BMW grandstand, and then up down the straight. Neil Farmack pulls out to pass Bidzster there, but again, can't quite do it, because the Audi gets on the power with the internal combustion engine, but goes wide. That's not like Bidzster, he must have some kind of handling problem there. So Bidzster having some kind of problem there as Callum comes up to his first batch of traffic, which is Stacker, and Stacker comes across for his line. Callum's got to wait, he can't get past. He's not got the power to get past, or the hybrid. Look, he's got no hybrid left. So he's got roughly the same power of that as that other car ahead of him, except twice as light. As he goes, now he found a way through, but look, Jamo's closed right up, and Bidzster's closing up as well. So there goes Callum through. Now it's Jamo. Jamo's going to catch Stacker in quite a good place here. Can't quite get through there, but he can wait. Use the hybrid and straight past. So Callum then loses probably about 5 seconds behind Stacker, probably even more as Bidzster goes through past Stacker, not wasting any time. Up on the curb, as Stacker went a bit wide there, so taking the opportunity while he could. Up over the curb then goes Bidzster, trying to stick right behind Jamo, getting his foot down a bit now. As we look back to the GT battle head, Rodders, Techno catching up to Rodders. Seek's ahead of Firepower, so Seek makes it up to 3rd place. Remember, if Seek gets a top 2 finish in this race, he's going to win the Division 2 Championship. 3 races early if you count it from the one after. But yeah, so Seek one on the move then, trying to see if he can win this championship. As Bidzster still trying to stick with Jamo, as Neil makes his way. Neil and TY make the way past Stacker. So Neil Farmack 147.5 last time, so a mistake for Neil somewhere. So look at TY's lap time, 145.185 and 145.188 for the Audi of Bidzster. So the 2 Team Art cars lapping almost simultaneous lap times. So the Audi obviously not feeling as good to them at this one, but obviously whatever Callum's doing, it's working, because he's out front leading 142.3, the fastest lap. Obviously now the tyres are coming into it, it's a bit slower, but fuel's looking good for Callum as well as he goes around that corner, same for Jamo, but Bidzster's almost on half a tank, so Bidzster's used a lot more fuel here. As Neil goes through, he's used a bit less fuel as well, but TY's like his teammate, he's used a bit more fuel, so TY and Bidzster struggling to make this Audi work round here. So we'll have to see what happens later on in the race as we go back to the GT battle then. Rodders from Seek 1 and then Techno. So Seek 1's past Techno, so we'll get a replay on how that got switched. It's the Seek 1's manoeuvres to get up the field in GTE. So first of all he passes Firepower down towards the first corner, takes the inside line, brakes for the corner, and then nicely on the inside commits to the apex. Firepower gets a little bit stunned by that and then goes through to 8th place. And now let's have a look at how he passed Techno. So Seek 1 passing Techno here, so watching to this corner, watching Techno into the corner, just catches the grass under braking a little bit, runs wide, and then you'll see here Seek 1 appears, there he is, and then goes up the hill. He's got the overspeed and goes past Techno just before the Schumacher S and then turns into the corner. As we come back from that then, Seek 1 grabs 2nd place and he's now in a championship winning place. So Rodders is doing all he can, he's out front and he's just doing all he can, but all Seek 1 needs to do in this race is get 1 2nd place and he's got the championship in the bag. So we'll have to see what happens here as we go back to the LMP1 boys, and they're coming up on these lot as well. Look, there they are, they're the GT boys at the bottom of the screen, and there is your LMP1 Division 1 leader, Callum, coming across the line, followed by Jamo. So into the first corner on the brakes. That's in for there for Callum. Jamo follows him. And the 4-wheel drive of that Porsche will be really good in this mid-sector. And the Audi is rear-wheel drive compared to the Porsche and the Toyota, which are 4-wheel drive. But obviously not been much of a hindrance this season so far. But definitely does have its moments. Like on this track, which requires a lot of traction out the corners, and it's a lot easier for the Porsche and Toyota to get grip out the corners, whereas and also they've got better hybrid systems, whereas the Audi hardly charges its battery going around the corners, as you can see there from Bidzster's. Doesn't charge the battery much at all, even with just 2 little braking zones. And then watch Jamo here as he brakes into Dunlop. Brake. Look how fast that charges. He's got the same charge that Bidzster had from 1 braking zone. So Here we go, Callum's stuck behind the traffic. Callum cannot get through the traffic and Jamo tries to take advantage of him. So the traffic now becoming a real problem because the GR3 cars, the GT cars get right away when it comes to the racing line, so the LMP ones cannot hinder them. As Callum passes Techno, but Techno has to go offline slightly, so that were a bit risky, but Jamo and Bidzster follow through. Bidzster's on this now. Bidzster's good in traffic, remember. So as we go into this bit, Callum moves out, so does Jamo, and they're passing him on the straight now, so they're all through. Bidzster's got through as well. Oh, Bidzster's he's about to get through right around the outside of him. As Seat 1 challenges Rodders for the lead in GTE, but can't quite make it stick. As Bidzster now challenges Jamo. As we look at the others coming through the traffic there's Neil Farmack coming through in between Seat 1 and Rodders. As we look back up to the top then, Callum, Jamo, Bidzster, all in a line. You think it were a sprint race. As we go back down the order then, we look at TY, he's passing those cars now as well. So the other Audi trying to make its way through the traffic. The Toyota of Neil's got through. Meanwhile, it's still Callum from Jamo and Bidzster. So still the same order. Neil there, and there's TY, so he's got past them all before the corner. And that, oh no, that's not TY, sorry, that was, oh there he is, there's TY, there we go, the camera's getting mixed up there, there's TY. As he goes up the inside, trying to get through, but again, he's got to wait. This is not going to help him to catch up with his other guys, but I don't think it's helping that he's on the hard tyres anyway. But Seat 1 and Rodders having a titanic battle here. As we go, watch TY go through, there he goes. So TY goes through, ignore the blue flag, because they don't count on this. Because unless it's to do with your own class, but if it's a class passing a class, the GR3 cars, the slower cars get the right of way when it comes to the racing line. LMP ones have to move around, so that's definitely altered the paradigm of the race. As we go down to the Dunlop hairpin, Rodders in Seat 1 for the lead, and Seat 1 goes up the inside and takes it. Rodders trying to fight back on the outside, use the power of the Aston Martin up the hill, but can't do it. Seat 1 takes the lead. He didn't need to, but he's took it. Seat 1 takes the lead, and I would imagine with his looking at his pace from throughout the season, he's going to pull away now. So Rodders trying to stay with him in the Aston Martin then, but look at the tyres. Seat 1 on the medium tyres, and the tyres are still quite fresh. Rodders on the soft tyres, and they are about half worn. So the soft tyres dying here. There's Techno's on the medium tyres as well, so, and Firepower, he's on the same with the tyres as well. But if you look at Stacker and Seat 1, they know something the others don't, because their tyres are a lot healthier than the other cars. So he's been waiting for a while, probably saving the tyres, and now's the time to use them as he goes through the chicane. Meanwhile, still Callum, Jamo from Bidzster. Bidzster still not able to properly keep with these two, because he's a little bit further back from them. There's Neil and TY, so TY's come through after all that traffic and he's lost a hell of a lot of time there. But look at the GTE boys, all four of them together. Stacker, the only one that's the absentee here, who's a lot further back, but Rodders defends the inside from Techno, who's fighting back now. This is where the Porsche is good, this is where the Aston struggles. Techno gets a good line out, puts the power down, tries to go for an overcut, but remember the pit window will be open for the LMP1 boys now. So the pit window open for the LMP1 boys, so lap 10 to 14, so once they start lap 15 it will be closed. So Callum goes into the Dunlop hairpin, followed by Jamo. Bidzster a lot further back here, so struggling with the tyres probably. There goes Neil. Let's have a look at the GTE battle then, still raging on there on lap 9. Seat 1, Rodders, Techno, Firepower, all four in a bunch. As we go round the bottom bit of the S's and down towards the Dunlop hairpin, as Firepower closes up on Techno here a little bit. Will he ever go into Dunlop? He has a little think about it. He's gone to the inside just to try and put him off in his mirrors probably, but no way through there. As we look to the Division 1 boys, Callum out front and leading. We go into the last corner. Jamo goes through, Bidzster goes through, so does Neil and TY maybe as well, so it doesn't look like anyone wanting to pit just yet. So we look at Seat 1 then. Let's look back at this GT battle. Rodders, Techno and Co. Firepower on the back of Techno here, so this could be a little interesting battle. Go to the chicane. Firepower has another little look, but again doesn't want to commit to the move just yet. Not feeling comfortable enough with doing it as Rodders makes a mistake. Rodders makes a mistake, and that's put him right into the hands of Techno as Firepower goes for the move on the inside. Firepower on the inside with a little dive and a little tap to make good friends as well. And then on the straight, get the power down. As you see, look on board with Techno here. Look, the Aston Martin drawing level with him. As you can see, the lovely nice little decal on the side there. But as you go into the next corner, we go back to the outside. And will Firepower commit to it? No, he doesn't again. So Firepower very early on the brakes, not wanting to go for the move. And Rodders very late on the brakes. So the two Aston Martins doing opposites to each other. So all the GT cars that now are on the pit window. So pit window open for GT as well as LMP1. As we look back to the front then, Callum from Jamo, both with quite decent tyres here. Look at Bidzster's tyres, absolutely shredded. So is Neil, and well, TY isn't, but he's got quite fresh tyres here. But obviously remember, they're the harder compound. So Jamo and Callum then, will anyone pit this lap? Jamo saved a lot more fuel in that Porsche compared to Callum, and I'm not surprised because the hybrid's a lot more efficient around here than the hybrid system on the Porsche is a lot more efficient around here than on the Audi. So no wonder he saved more fuel. As we go around the last corner, both of them don't choose to pit yet. Bidzster is going to go around again, even on the dead tyres. So Bidzster trying to make this set last, so then the second set don't have to go as long. Same with Neil and TY, so TY goes a bit longer as well. As we go back to the GT then, seat one's pulled out a bit of a gap, about 3 seconds on the other guys. There they are, Rodders, Techno and Firepower. You're all very close together as you go round the S's, and now look at the fuel levels. Seat one's got a lot more fuel, quarter of a tank, he could go longer, but Rodders, Techno and Firepower all very low on fuel, Techno the lowest. So that could mean for a longer pit stop. So we'll have to see here what that's going to do to him. So I would imagine all these guys will be in, definitely Techno and Rodders, but Firepower could manage another lap, but we'll have to see. As we go towards the pit lane then, seat one does go round because he saved a lot more fuel. So that's what we were doing at first, on the medium tyres, save more fuel, go longer in the pit window. Rodders and Techno are in, Firepower does go round, so let's see if Firepower can jump a few positions here with a decent lap in clear air. As Rodders and Techno then go into the pits. See the little siren goes off there. And so Rodders was on the softs, Techno was on the mediums, so we'll see what happens there as we look to the LMP1 battle then. Neil and TY quite close together. Neil Farmack tyres are dead. Those soft tyres have had their best. As we look at Callum then, out of the little S, up the hill. Will he pit this lap? Fuel looks good, tyres look quite good, so why would you? Jamo's tyres are a lot better off than Callum's as well, so Jamo doing his tyre saving trick as well as fuel saving, so Jamo very efficient in this one, so watch this space for Jamo. Could be able to hop him in the pit lane here, you never know. As Bidzster comes out that corner, will Bidzster head for the pit lane this time? No, he's not. He's going to go around again, trying to go longer on the stops. Neil's in now, Neil's in, he's had enough of those tyres, so Neil's in the Toyota, so the Toyota pits. Let's see where the others came out. Rodders came out ahead of Techno, so I was right, Rodders had to, Techno, sorry, had to put more fuel in, and that's obviously made his pit stop a little bit longer, and Rodders gets ahead. So for once, the Porsche uses more fuel than Aston Martin, which is a first. But as we look at front then, Firepower getting the power down, trying to build a decent gap on his in-lap. So the two most important laps in the race, the in-lap and the out-lap. Because time lost on them, and on how committed you are into the pit lane as well, it all adds up to time lost. As we look at Firepower then out the corner, fuel on red. It is going to be a slightly longer stop for fuel, but he's counteracted that with a fast lap into the pits. So we'll have to see what's going to happen here. But remember Rodders, yes, he might have pitted earlier, but he's on fresh rubber and he can go for it. So we'll have to see what happens here. It's the blend of, are you going to pit early and risk not getting to the end, or are you going to wait a lap? So Firepower into the pits on vapour almost, probably about 1 litre left of fuel. So into the pits he comes. So Firepower's team come out and are ready for him. As Rodders comes round the chicane then, Callum coming up to lap him as well. Callum comes up to lap the GT leader. There he is, and he's got a little bit held up behind him as well. Will Rodders is going for the pits, remember, so Callum has to wait behind again. Jamo's going to close right up here. And as we go around the last corner, Callum eventually gets out, but Jamo's right on the back of him now, so that's not helped him at all. As Bidzster now into the pits, so Bidzster comes into the pits, and it's pit stop time for the Audi as TY goes round in the sister car. So TY goes round He's got a little bit more fuel left on his. Bidzster had decent fuel left, but the tyres are dead, so Bidzster choosing to pit now, so we're just over halfway in this race. So remember now, this is the last lap of the pit window, so these guys will be in this lap. Callum, Jamo, TY, they'll all be in this lap because they need to, as TY pushing hard on them harder tyres. As we look at seat 1 then, he's in the lead of GTE so far, but remember he's not pitted yet. Rodders has already pitted, but he's further back. Techno going through there as well. Firepower, Stacker, so Stacker and Seek have not pitted yet, and neither of the top guys in LMP1. Let's see where Bidzster comes out of the pits. Bidzster comes out in 5th, he's even behind Neil. So that's how much time he lost on them dead tyres, so Bidzster's got work to do here. Not looking good for his championship challenge here. Let's have a look at if it finished as it was at the moment. Well, Callum wouldn't win the championship, but he'd only have to finish one more race of the season. So not looking good for Bidzster here. Let's look at Callum then. Callum and Jamo come up to the last. Seat 1's in the GTE. Seat 1's in GTE, so we'll keep an eye on that gap as well, because Rodders is just coming onto the back straight now. But, what was that? Was that a bit of dust I saw? It was TY, it's alright, just to be seeing things. So Callum then, into the pits. Last lap of the pit window, doesn't have to put as much fuel in, because he's only got to put 10 laps worth in, and so's Jamo. But look at Jamo, he's got another 13 litres of fuel over Callum there. So that's a lot more fuel. So a lot more fuel for Jamo, so that'll be a quicker pit stop, so we'll have to watch this. As TY's in as well, he's got 12 litres on. I would imagine TY would probably change off the hard tyres, but we'll have to see. There comes Neil. Where's Bidzster? Bidzster's round there. Bidzster's behind him, so Neil's going to be the person to watch. Let's look at the GT battle then. Seat 1 is out in front of Rodders, so Seat 1 gets out ahead of Rodders. Fresh medium tyres, so obviously prefers the medium tyres on that Porsche. And Rodders on the soft tyres in the Aston Martin, but I don't think he might be able to get to the end on fuel. We'll have to see as Jamo comes out the pits ahead of Callum, so Jamo has done it. He's leapfrogged him in the pits, but goes wide out the first corner. Callum has a little look. He knows now he's got to get ahead of that Porsche, so at least stick with it. So TY's still in the pits, Callum in second, so Neil gets 3rd, TY's in 4th. Where's his teammate Bidzster there? Bidzster gets 4th. So Bidzster comes out ahead of TY, but TY again choosing the hard tyres. But Bidzster's put a lot more fuel in than the others, but again he'll be able to push hard for the rest of the race now, so we'll have to see what Bidzster's going to do here. There's Jamo then in the lead, he's got traffic. Let's see if Jamo can negotiate this traffic better than Callum did, and he does. Straight round firepower there, but obviously got the room to do it. It depends on where you catch him, so Callum's been quite unlucky with traffic really. He's caught him in quite unlucky places as Jamo then in the lead of the race. The Jamo leads the race on LPB Racing. Nice to see him back at the front. He's not been at the front for a while, and there he is. Up through the Schumacher S, flat out. The internal combustion engine power of that Audi uses it. Up the hill, but then out the corners, the Porsche will be a lot quicker. Callum's got to try and do something here to stay with him. But remember, Callum's put a bit... Callum's put more fuel in, I beg your pardon. Usually Callum puts less in, but here we are, on the straight. Drafting each other down towards the chicane. This is the battle to watch as Jamo moves to the left to defend. Callum goes to the right, but can't do anything. Jamo gets the corner, but saves up a lot more hybrid than the Audi does. Uses it a lot quicker as well. As we go up to the traffic, Jamo goes up the inside of Rodders and almost compromises his line. That was very risky by Jamo there. Very risky, and it almost put Rodders off his line. He's got to be careful of doing that. It could incur a penalty if he does that too harshly. So, and there goes Jamo. And one thing I forgot to mention at the start of the race, guys, I do apologise, is there is a 5-second penalty for Callum from the last race that we did at Monza, where he overtook Bidzster over the track. So he's still got to keep the win, but he's got a 5-second penalty for this one for exceeding the track limits and passing someone. So he's got a 5-second penalty added on to the race time at the end of this race. So if he does pass Jamo, he's got to get a hell of a gap. So Neil Farmack in 3rd place, 4th place for Bidzster, TY in 5th. So the two Team Art cars struggling here. Bidzster's put his fastest lap of the race in at 1:42.8, 43.2 for TY. So Bidzster's on the move here now. He's getting a bit more of a move on, but a bit late really, because Callum and Jamo have got a good pace here. Let's have a look back at GTE. Seat 1 still ahead of Rodders. Seat 1 into the 1:59s now. So fast lap of the race earlier was a 58 something I think, but 1:59.1 for Seat 1. Rodder's on to 2 minutes 7, but he's still right behind him, not letting him go. Neil Farmack's coming up to lap him now as well. Let's hope Neil Farmack gives him a bit more room than the others did, and he's waiting behind. There's Firepower coming up through the chicane, and Techno's fallen back, so Techno 2:14 the last time round, so he must have made a big error somewhere. So we'll get a little replay on what happened to Techno there. Here's a replay of what happened to Techno then. So this was the first spin that he had. He went wide off the corner before the straight, and then right round, scattering gravel all over the place. Right round, and luckily just gets off the track as Rodders comes through, and then gets on the power and rejoins. And now for Techno, the next lap, comes round to the same corner, and then goes on the gravel, just catches the gravel on the exit, and then the car loses control over the grass across the track, and then bang into the wall just as Bidzster comes through, and then the car's on the track still. He just about has enough clearance to turn around there, and then it gets back going again. So as you come back from that, then Callum rally crosses out of the chicane. That's how hard he's trying to claw back as much time as he can on Jamo. Doesn't care about these tyres now. They've only got to last about another 8 laps. Sod them. Go for it. Burn them as we go down the straight. So still looking to try and close up as they hit the brakes hard into the first corner. So it's a shame that Task 1 couldn't be on today to try and help with the team points, but Callum's still carrying the weight of the team on his shoulders. Again, if anyone's watching this and you are interested in joining LPB Racing, we do GT Sport, as you can see here, and we do the Project Cars 2 series as well. So we do them 2 games primarily, but I am looking at other games for the future possibly. So if anyone is interested, visit us on Facebook at Facebook/group/LPB Racing, and then just send a message or write a post on the wall, and we will try and get back to you. So you are more than welcome. Doesn't matter whether you've got the skill of Lewis Hamilton or whether you're just an amateur racer that's wanting just to have a bit of fun. You know, we are quite clean. We are clean racers, as you can see here, the cleanest available. Callum right behind Jamo, looking for a way through. Jamo defends slightly. Callum looks for a way through. So yeah, LPB Racing, we are fair, clean racers. And as long as you want it, if you're fed up or online where people are bashing each other off the road all the time and it's like a big game of dodgems, and you're fed up for it and you wanted some clean racing with some good sound bunch of guys, then go on with us as Jamo. Woohoo! Callum goes for the outside and Jamo just closes the door on him ever so slightly, respectfully, but just about as respectful as you can get, but closes the door, not letting Callum get through at all. There's Neil Farmack and Bidzster! As Bidzster hit Neil, Neil goes off! Neil goes off onto the grass! Did he hit him? But is Bidzster slowing up here? Is he going to let him back through? I don't know, we'll have to see here. Let's see if Bidzster does let him through or anything, but Neil comes up to the last corner. And yes, Bidzster's slowing down to let him go, so he just wanted to get clear of the corner and then slow down and let him through. So Bidzster, good job there by Bidzster. But we'll get a replay to see how that started anyway. Okay, here's a replay of what happened to Bidzster and Neil then on lap 17 on the back straight, going down the hill then. We go down the hill watching Neil Farmack. Bidzster pulls out to overtake, and then Neil comes across his line. Bidzster goes up on the curb because he didn't really have much room, but again, it's whether he should have gone for it, but Neil makes a big mistake, and then Bidzster does gentlemanly let him back through, but we'll get another angle on that as well. Right, here we go then, looking from on board with Bidzster then. So we go down here, we pull out to overtake, and then Neil does actually leave a bit of room, and then Bidzster goes up on the curb, loses control, and then you see behind Neil loses it. Okay, now let's take a look from Neil's point of view. So we're going down the straight then, and you see Bidzster pull out in a minute. There he goes, pulls out. Now we could actually come quite across there. We don't really go smooth around the corner. We dart into the corner and then cause contact with Bidzster. But then again, Bidzster did go over the curb quite a lot to try and give a bit more room, but then obviously that made him go and hit Neil as well. So I would call that a 50-50. As we come back from that then, we look at Seat 1 and Rodders in the lead of GTE. Rodders still pressurising Seat here, so Seat not having an easy race of this, but still, all he needs is a first or a second, and he's won the championship, so we'll have to see what Seat 1 can do here. There he goes in the Porsche Marlboro car, as Rodders goes up tries to go up the inside in the Jorex Aston Martin, and there's Firepower in the second Jorex car. Then we've got Techno in 9th in the black and white Techno colours, as he usually runs, and then Stacker in the second Porsche Marlboro team colour there. so he's struggling a bit more in this car. I think he can't wait for this season to be over, really, just to get out of this car. But yeah, enjoyed it at first, but not really clicked with it ever since. So you know, whatever floats his boat, and we'll see what happens next season for him. Still one race to go, still one round to go. Sorry, we've got the next race 2 round here, and then round 7 into Lagos. The 2 races there. As Jamo comes up to the chicane, then Callum pressuring him all the way, and a lot quicker through the chicane than Jamo was there. A lot more commitment now from Callum. Now he's chosen the time to push into the last corner, up on the curb, almost hits the pit lane entrance. You don't want to be doing that. As we look at Bidzster in 3rd, then he's back past Neil now. He's passed him without no contact, so Bidzster back into 3rd place then. Go over the chicane nicely through there as Neil goes through behind him. TY in 5th place. Not having a good race in this one, TY, not being able to keep with the pace. I don't think I think the hard tyres are probably contributing to that as well. But a few slow laps here for TY, 151 last time, so not having a good race. As we look back at Neil and Bidzster, Neil trying to have a go at Bidzster here into the first corner, but again, Bidzster too far ahead for him to make a challenge. As Seat 1 then in the lead of the GT, just getting rid of a little penalty accumulated there, as Rodders goes over the chicane as well. Firepower in a solid 3rd position. I have to hats off to Firepower this season. He's done quite a good job and very consistent, so hopefully all good things for him in the future as well. Techno in 9th, and as I said earlier, Stacker in 10th position. Let's have a look at the battle for the lead then. Jamo 141.4 last time round. What a lap! And Callum 141.5. So these two still lapping within a tenth of each other. So Jamo's put the foot down and Callum's gone with him. So Callum's clearly playing a game of whatever you can do, I can do. But Jamo runs a bit wide there, and that might give him a little penalty, but he hopefully should be able to get rid of that before the line. But remember, Callum is carrying a 5-second penalty from the last race, so if he does get ahead of Jamo, he's got to pull out a big gap. So unless Jamo throws this away, he's more or less got this in the bag. And look at the oh, Callum's been reset and Jamo's off. What's happened there? Jamo's gone off and Callum's reset himself. I don't know what the hell happened there. We'll get a replay on it. Okay, here's a replay from the outside camera of what happened to Jamo and Callum. We'll have it on board afterwards, but we're going to the chicane. Watch Jamo out of here, gets on the power, he goes onto the curb and onto the AstroTurf, loses the back of the car one way then the other. Callum has no choice but to hit the brakes, and then he ends up hitting him, and then Jamo rejoins and Callum sportingly waits for him to rejoin. Okay, let's have a look now from on board with Callum. So we're going into the chicane. Jamo ahead, watch, he'll go wide. He'll go on to the AstroTurf and then slides one way then the other. Callum's accelerating, he can't stop, hits him, and then sportingly waits for him to rejoin, and then they resume their brilliant race. As you look back at Bidzster and Neil then, Neil not leaving Bidzster alone, so Bidzster can't pull away from Neil here. And obviously Neil on the medium tyres, they must be working a lot better than the soft tyres on the Audi. As Bidzster goes up the hill and not able to pull away from the Toyota as you go around the corner, a little bit wide there, but again gets away with it, not too bad. As you look back at the GT then, Seat 1 in the lead and a little bit more spread out now in GT, not really any battles going on as such. So we'll stick with the battle for the lead. Oh, TY's in the pits. TY's in the pits, so he's clearly had enough of these hard tyres and wants to try and go for the fastest lap or something, because he probably will go on to a set of softs, I would imagine. So Jamo and Callum then having a nice little battle about it. Callum keeping him under pressure, because if he keeps him under pressure, there's more chance of Jamo making a mistake and him being able to win with 5 seconds ahead. We'll see. But whatever the case, the Division 1 Championship will go down to the next race. Because all Callum will need to do, if Callum gets a first, if Callum gets a second here, if Callum gets a second place, then all he needs to do in the next race is actually finish in the point. So basically, as long as he finishes the race, he's going to get the championship. And same with Seat 1 with Seat 1 in this one, as long as he gets above second in this one, he's won it. So Callum stays where he is here. All he needs to do in the next race is finish the race, and he's won the championship. So you get 11 points for finishing 5th, which is only 5 of those guys in that class. So as long as he finishes the race, because it'll be about a 4-point difference, he'll be able to win the championship. So we've just got to keep going here, and if he wins, then obviously it's the same thing, but just got to try a bit. Well, actually, no, sorry. Redo my calculation. Sorry. If Callum won the race in this one, I think he would win it actually. But I'll recalculate that after the race for you. But we'll clarify that afterwards. But basically, Callum is more likely to go down to the next race, and seat 1 looks like he's won it now already as Jamo defends the inside out of the corners. A little bit of a weird line there from Jamo, but gets away with it as we look back. I think that was Neil and Bidzster having a nice little battle back here. Bidzster cannot get rid of Neil. Neil right behind him. Bidzster's got a lot of fuel remaining, so obviously he'll have that turned fully up. But Neil, quarter of a tank. But again, I would imagine Neil will be able to turn it fully up with the quarter tank on the hybrids as they just lap Techno there. As we look back to Jamo and Callum. So yeah, I've just redone the calculation there quickly while I was looking at the battle. So if Callum wins this race and gets fastest lap, he's won the championship in Division 1. So I've just redone it, and that's what it is. So that's why he's pressuring Jamo, because he wants to try and get it over now. As we go into the S's and out onto the back straight. But Jamo's currently got the fastest lap at the minute, a 141.4. Callum did a 141.5, so we're only a tenth off. So even if Callum gets ahead and gets 5 seconds ahead, he needs to get an extra fastest lap. But I don't think that's going to happen at this rate, because Jamo is racing a really good race here, and he's wanting this win. He's hungry for it. He doesn't care that Callum's got a 5-second penalty. He wants to win on the road. He wants to win it properly, and good on him. As Callum, there's Bidzster and with Neil right behind him. So Bidzster and Neil going down there as we look back to the top boys then. The Jamo approaching one of the GTE cars. We'll try and get it on the brakes. Firepower goes into the corner. Goes a little bit wide. Jamo should be able to get past here on hybrid power. Where's Firepower gone? He's gone off the track. He's gone right off. I think he must have made a mistake or panicked when he saw him in the mirror. So Jamo and Callum get through with ease then. As we look back at Neil and Bidzster, they're coming on the start-finish straight. Neil looking for a way through here, down towards the first corner. Will Bidzster defend the inside? No, he's not going to bother because he knows he's still too far ahead for Neil to get past. So still plenty of fuel left in that car. It's a lot heavier than the Toyota as well with the fuel, because look, he's almost got just under half and Neil's got just under a quarter. So quarter tank difference, and that can be a lot of weight. That's 25 litres of fuel. As we look at Callum then, right behind Jamo. Still wanting to try and win on the road if he can. As we saw a bit of dust there. As Jamo is still pushing hard. About an eighth of a tank of fuel left. That should be plenty to get to the line. There's Callum then tries to go around the outside now. Callum really turning up the wick. Push. Last few laps. Next lap will be the penultimate lap of the race. Down to the chicane. They're catching seat 1, I think, or Stacker in one of the Porsche Marlboro cars. As we stick with this battle, Jamo gets rid of a little penalty he's got there. And, gets out of the corner, gets the hybrid on. Bang, go. Oh, he goes wide again. Callum goes for the inside and gets the power on, but again, there's no hybrid left in that Audi to make amends. As they go down the straight then, they're about to lap one of the Porsches. I think that's seat 1. Yeah, it is. It's seat 1. As they go down to the first corner, and Jamo tries to go up the inside, but he's almost compromised the GR3's line. Callum takes advantage, but they've got to be careful overtaking these GR3 cars. That wasn't too bad really. That could have been a lot worse, but you've got to be careful not to make contact, because penalties will follow, and you don't want that. As you look at Callum and Jamo still behind each other with 2 laps to go in this race. As we look at Neil and Bidzster. Neil looking at the inside of Bidzster into turn 1. Bidzster gives him space. Neil goes over the inside and spins. Neil spun on the inside. That's the battle over. He's got to get going. TY's all the way back here, so TY really going slow here. So, he's got the fastest lap of the race, 141.0, so that's what he's doing. Look, he's charged the battery right up. TY's holding the brake, charging the battery right up and going for the fastest lap to get extra points. So, because he knows he can't get any further up, so he might as well get the extra point if he can and take it off Callum to help Bidzster. So, good thinking there by TY. So, just in case Callum had the fastest lap, take it off him. But Jamo now loses that extra point for fastest lap, but I don't think he's bothered. I think all Jamo wants is the win, and Callum, he wants it as well. He's hungry for the on-track win. Oh, look at this, close, dive, and then Jamo defends the inside, Callum goes to the outside. Jamo will defend the inside, but it'll be slow out. Callum tries to go around the outside, but they both get the power on, and Jamo has got every right to squeeze him out, which he does very fairly. As as we go out the last corner, start the last lap of this race. You'd think it would have been a sprint race with the action in this race, but it is not. It's an endurance race. And just as the fuel goes on to red, we go on to the last lap. So it should just be enough for one last fast lap of fuel. Round the first corner we go. Jamo from Callum, all good so far. Bidzster in third on his own. Neil back in fourth on his own because he made that mistake, and so's TY further back as well. He's pushing hard. He's on the soft tyres, wanting to go for the fastest lap. Again, seat one on his last lap as well. Rodders as well, he's coming up to his last lap. But look at the tyres on Rodders' car, they're absolutely finished. As Firepower's closed up on his teammate. Techno's in 9th and Stacker in 10th as he's got the lead. No, he's not. They're not too close behind him yet actually, but still a decent gap so far as Jamo comes off the S's in the first section and goes down towards the Dunlop hairpin. Round the Dunlop hairpin we go. Callum's got a bit more fuel. Jamo might have to fuel save a little bit just to get to the end, but he should be fine as we go up the hill. Last time through Schumacher S, completely flat and determined from both cars there. Down to the third sector S's for the last time. Oh, Jamo makes a little mistake there, goes wide, and then goes back to the other side. But remember, even if Callum goes through now, Jamo's got it, because he'll not be able to pull 5 seconds ahead. But it's all about the on-track victory. They're both hungry for the on-track. Jamo has to defend one last time into the chicane. Callum's going to try and be brave here and try and go around the outside, or at least try and set the car up for a move after the corner, but he can't quite do it. Jamo's defended his backside off in this race. Callum's then thrown it away there. He's made a mistake on the curb, rode the curb too much. So Jamo is going to come through to win this race. Well done, Jamo, you've won a race. Jamo wins in the Porsche. Well done to Jamo, wins on Porsche home ground. And then Callum in second place on Audi home ground as well, because they're both German. So it's Callum in second, and it's going to be Bidzster in third for LMP1 as he comes up to the last few corners. Who's that ahead of him? That's another GT car, I think. That's seat one. He's about to win the GT class and he's about to win the Division 2 Championship. So Bidzster and Callum go to the next race, but Seek 1 here, so Bidzster finishes third, but Seek 1 is Division 2 champion. Well done to Seek 1, he wins Division 2 Championship. The overall championship is still on the line between him and Callum. It's still quite a tight battle, that, but Seek 1 wins the race for GTE and wins the Division 2 Championship. And then it's Neil Farmack in fourth. Well done to Neil Farmack, he finishes fourth, and TY fifth as the car gets reset there. A car gets reset, is that fire? So it's Firepower, it's Rodders going through in second place. He did all he could. Rodders, it's been a really good season by him this season, but again he's got a good fight with his teammate to go for the rest of the season still. TY gets fifth in the Audi, and then it's Firepower coming out the last corner in the Aston Martin to finish in 8th. Techno is going to come through in 9th position, and it's going to be Stacker who rounds off the 10 in class. So we'll just get those results confirmed for you now, guys. Okay guys, here's the results from that then. So Jamo takes his first win of the season. Well done to Jamo. Second place for Callum, even carrying that 5-second penalty, still gets to second place, because Bidzster is 30 seconds back in third position. Then it's fourth for Neil Farmack, and then fifth for TY. And then in 6th place overall and winner of the Division 2 class is Seek 1, and he also is champion. Well done to Seek 1, champion of Division 2. Rodders in 2nd place in class. 3rd place in class is Firepower. Then it's Techno in 4th and 5th for Stacker. Fastest lap goes to TY, a 1:39.8. So as we come back from those results then, it is Jamo who wins the LMP1 and Division 1 race overall. Well done to Jamo there, as we just look at his car there he is. And Seek 1 wins the Division 2 there in the red Porsche Marlboro car. There is the red and white Porsche Marlboro car. He wins the race in that one, but also he's now Division 2 champion. Well done to Seek 1, did it with 3 races remaining as well. Well done, and we'll see you guys next time for race 2. Take care, guys.